Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets. It's time for your weekly marijuana market update. Now, I do want to start, as I usually do, by thanking everyone who watches our videos on YouTube. It is an interesting time in the markets, especially if you're a cannabis investor. But just know that Adam, Charles, and I, we've got your back, and we're going to walk you through it every step of the way. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified each and every time we post up a new video. Just hit that subscribe button and then mash that notification bell, and you'll get alerted every time we post up a new video. We do them all the time, every week. I'd also encourage you to check out our flagship, which is moneyandmarkets.com. This is where you can see our proprietary stock power rating system and get the ratings of thousands of stocks that we have on the market. You'll see a breakdown of fundamental and technical ratings that make up the overall stock power rating. Just go to moneyandmarkets.com, and in the top right-hand corner, type in the ticker or company name, and you'll be able to see its ranking, stock chart, fundamental data, any analysis that we have, and it's all at your fingertips. You can build your own watch list and track stock performance, and you can do all that at moneymarkets.com, and you can do it for free. Now, in today's marijuana market update, I want to look at the performance of the cannabis market and then dive into some interesting numbers about future sales and economic impact from those sales in the cannabis market. Now, let's first take a look at the one-year performance of the Money and Markets Cannabis Index. This is an index, it's an equal-weighted index of all cannabis-related stocks on major exchanges with a market capitalization of above $1 million. Now, after a lot of flat trading in the summer and fall of 2021, cannabis stocks took a big hit in November and December and continued their downward spiral momentum into March. However, later in the month of March, stocks started to rebound, and we're seeing now a relatively flat trading pattern again here in April. Now, for the last 12 months, our cannabis index is down a little more than 39%. Now, we can zero into year-to-date performance and get a closer look at how stocks have been doing, at least since the start of the year. If we zero out the value at the first of the year, that way we get an accurate depiction of how the index has moved from one point in time to the other. If we zero out the start and we see where it ends, we can see how cannabis stocks are averaging up in 2022. We saw a lot of flat trading in the first 2 months as the index needle barely moved. However, talk of the MORE Act in Congress and the prospect of more states joining the legalization movement pushed stocks higher into March. Now, negative headlines out of Congress in late March pushed stocks back down, but we've seen a bit of a resurgence of late, and the index value is now up 3,000% from January 1st of 2022 to April 18th. So in the year to date, cannabis stocks are actually trending a bit higher. If you broaden out to a 12-month period, they're trending lower. So it's kind of all about perspective and how you look at your performance of cannabis stocks. Now, I'm going to share something interesting in terms of data about the future of cannabis sales and the impact the cannabis market's going to have on the U.S. economy. And I'm going to circle all this back whenever we get to the end. Now, analysis from cannabis data firm New Frontier Data released earlier this year shows the increase in projected U.S. legal cannabis sales. The firm is projecting legal sales of around $32 billion this year. Now, remember, towards the end of last year, I projected that sales would top $30 billion in the cannabis industry in the United States. So this is kind of in line with what I thought at the end of 2021. Now, the analysis takes into account current state legalization efforts and the likelihood of new cannabis markets opening up by 2030. From a projection of $32 billion in 2022, cannabis sales could grow to as much as $72 billion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate of 14%. Now, analysis factored in new adult use markets opening up in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, Florida, Missouri, Oklahoma, and South Dakota. It also projected new medical use markets opening up in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Kansas, Texas, and Idaho. Now, if none of those states' legalization efforts come to fruition, and it's quite possible that either some or none will, it's hard to say, New Frontier still projected cannabis sales could hit beyond $57 billion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate of around 11%. Now, of course, we'd like to see the best case scenario and see those sales just explode by 2030. But even if they don't, the projections are that sales are going to grow by $20 billion from 2022 to 2030, which is impressive growth, even if you discount any new legalization efforts on the state level. Either way, it shows strong sales growth for the cannabis market in the years to come. Now, this next chart, this next bit of data I found even more interesting, and it shows a stronger potential for the cannabis market. A study done by Marijuana Business Daily outlined the potential total economic impact of the U.S. cannabis industry. Now, in 2021, the total impact should reach around $81 billion. Of course, not everything is counted up yet. We're still, things are still being counted at the end of the year. Things are still being balanced out. Now, by 2026, the total impact of the cannabis market in the U.S. could reach as much as $157.8 billion. That's a 94.8% increase from last year. So in just about 6 years, we're looking at a 94.8% growth in the total economic impact of the cannabis market in the U.S. economy. Now, that total economic impact measures more than just tax dollars that are collected from sales, which, by the way, that's something that's highly touted by cannabis legalization activists, is that, you're going to see a massive influx of sales tax dollars. So it kind of overrides that sin aspect of cannabis, because states and local governments will see a big infusion of tax dollars due to marijuana sales. Now, projections suggest that for every $10 consumers and medical patients spend at marijuana retail locations, an additional $18 is injected into the economy, most of that coming at the local level, which is very interesting. It includes the day-to-day needs of cannabis industry workers, ranging from housing to transportation to entertainment. So basically, when you see sales grow, then cannabis companies can either hire more or expand the pay base for its employees. Those employees will then go out and spend more money in the economy on goods, services, housing, all sorts of things. So now we see as sales go up, the benefits happen to filter down to workers, growers, all sorts of things, which attributes to the economic impact overall. So it's not just about sales. You've got to look at a much bigger picture here to see exactly what kind of an impact the cannabis market will have on the U.S. economy. Now, taxes do play a part, as millions of dollars collected by state and local governments are used to fund things like schools, roads, improvement projects, all sorts of things. These tax dollars are used to help fund. So it does play a part as well. But again, it's much bigger than that when you're looking at just what kind of an impact cannabis sales will have on our economy. Now, what all this tells me is that the broader future for the cannabis market, especially here in the United States, even without federal legalization, is very strong. Strong sales growth, broad economic impact. It all spells good things for cannabis operators, employees, and even investors in the future. The problem that we have here, at least so far, is that cannabis investors haven't really responded to the potential strength of the market now or in the future. We're trading more on headlines in the cannabis market and really the broader market in general. And that's not really a good thing. You've got to look at a much bigger picture. Smart investors like you are going to see this as an opportunity to get in now when stock prices are relatively undervalued, rather than just trading on headline pops or headline drops, which really, at the end of the day, doesn't make anyone any money. So look at the numbers, look at the data, analyze, find the values, look at the future trends. Don't just look at this. Cannabis is not for day traders. It just isn't. That's just not where you're at. You're looking at long-term prospects for cannabis investing. And we're seeing very strong potential for the market that could yield smart investors like you a lot of profit in your portfolio. That's all I have for the update this week. If you do have a question about a cannabis stock or the broader market, email me. My email address you can reach me at is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'll drop that right down below. Or you can also comment here on our YouTube channel. Send a question, and if we use it, we're going to send you some Money and Markets gear. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, all sorts of cool stuff. We'll send that out your way. Don't forget about all the great content we have on our YouTube channel. It is the best investment insight, and it's yours for free. Follow me on Twitter. I'll give you even more insights, not just into the cannabis market, the broader market, even sports, because I'm a sports nut. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is @InvestWithMattC. Invest with Matt C. If you follow me, I certainly try to follow you back. Thank you for all of you who watch our videos every week. We do it because we want to bring you the best insights, not just into cannabis, but into broader investing, the economy, and all sorts of things. We want to do it and give it to you so you can bolster profits in your portfolio. Check out moneymarkets.com every day for new content that provides safe, sound, smart, simple, profitable investment information for you. Also, when you can, get hooked up with my Stock Power Daily newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday. I give you one stock a day to take a look at for your portfolio. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets, your host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.